TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Friday in Texas, 8:20 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. We're going to get into it today, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tesla event, what was and what was not. Uh, let's talk about the certainties versus the ambiguities because the stock market does not like uncertainty, and I think that Tesla gave us quite a bit of uncertainty. I wanted to wear my Live Lucky shirt and cap today because I feel lucky. I feel fortunate that Elon Musk kind of did us a solid. He told us what was coming. He said the robots are coming, the robocab, the cyber cab is coming, the robovan, even though he doesn't know how to pronounce it, is coming. We don't exactly know when, and we don't really exactly know what it's going to do to the top line, the middle line, let alone the bottom line, but we can all speculate and infer. And that's why investing is so difficult, because we would love for him to just go out there and tell us, hey, by this date, we're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to add this much to the top line. These are going to be our margins, and then this is going to be our bottom line. That would be great. That would be easy. But that's not what investing is. We are left to fill in a lot of the blanks. So the market doesn't really like that. So anyway, let me check in with some of you guys, and we're going to get on with the quote of the day, and we're going to do a portfolio update. And we're going to talk about why I'm strongly considering trimming the portfolio and going deep, deep, deep into Tesla and to TSLL specifically, because I saw it. I saw the vision as a consumer yesterday. I feel like Elon Musk has been working on this rebrand for Tesla for a very long time. And I think it's just a matter of time before the investors reap those rewards again. There's a lot of investors that have already reaped a lot of rewards, but I think Tesla might just barely be getting started, and I want to be a part. And I don't care if I'm a little bit early. I don't care if I'm bag holding for a hot minute. I don't care about opportunity cost and all of this other bullshit that people want to frame. There is enough premiums here to make the wait worthwhile. Let me say it again. That's one of y'all's quotes for today. We're going to go at the 3-minute mark. We're going to go to the 3-minute mark. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to give y'all a quote of the day action. And there are plenty of premiums to be had here to make the wait worthwhile. So that's the quote of the day. And then we're going to give you guys another one that I found on Pinterest. So here's the one I found on Pinterest. Is when you invest, you're buying a day that you don't have to work. So I just thought it was a very appropriate quote for what's going on right here with Tesla and some other companies. And I'm really, really fired up about the miners, the Neos, the SoFis, etc. It's when you invest, you are buying a day that you don't have to work. Well, I'm going on the 5th year of investing full time. And I feel that within the next 5 years, I won't have to do anything. Excuse me 1 second. The wife always knows. The wife always knows, always knows. She's asking me if I took the trash to the street. And I was like, I did it last night. I am on top of it, baby, because I woke up this morning and I felt like we had opportunity. There was opportunity knocking, and I was going to answer the door. I hope my dog isn't crazy. I shouldn't have knocked. So anyway, guys, when you invest, you are buying a day that you don't have to work. And that is what I want to do today is I want to invest. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to try to time the market. I don't want to try to do anything. And to me, is when you are investing, legitimately investing, is what are you willing to pay today for what you think the company can be worth tomorrow. But tomorrow could be a week from now. It could literally be tomorrow. It could be a week, a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, hell, 20 years. For me, the time horizon is 2030. That is my time horizon because I feel like everything that Tesla is working towards should all come to fruition by the year 2030. So that is my target on everything that he's said up until this point. And I feel like they'll definitely have all the SKUs. They'll figure out how to manufacture these vehicles, in the most efficient way possible. And that'll also give us plenty of time for the executives, the congressmen and women up in Washington, specifically just for this country, to be able to get their heads out of their asses and pass some laws that make this happen. Because with the current landscape of the government, none of this is going to happen. None of it. So they're going to have plenty of time to massage their way in there, do some use cases in some key cities, and then it'll kind of like spread out like wildfire. In my opinion, right? That's the bet. That's the bet that I want to make. And I want to make a roughly about a 6-year bet. So I'm willing to stick in this thing 5, 6, maybe 7 years to let it all play out. And then if it doesn't play out, I'm totally okay saying, hey, I got it wrong. By the way, normally I don't come out on this time, but I was on Amit's channel last night. I was watching Amit's channel last night, and he said that he was going to do the market open. So normally I wouldn't be doing this either. I'd be watching his channel with you guys. So, shout out to Amit. I hope everything's going well over there in India. He's spending time with grandma, the family. I think he's got a wedding to go to. He's probably going to post some pictures in pajamas and shit, right? Like their attire over there is kind of funky. So it looks like they're all wearing like silky pajamas or whatever. I kind of want a pair low key. But anyway, hopefully everything's going well with him over there. We wish him safe travels coming back to the States about a week or so from today. So anyway, because I'm sure a handful of you guys are from Mid's channel, normally watching him, but y'all are rocking with me today. So essentially, y'all are just going to see me work a little bit this morning, work my way through things. I'm going to, look at the market, see what's going on. I can tune in to CNBC, see what's going on over there as well, and go from there. So anyway, let me check in with you guys, and then we'll go from there. What's going on, Champasta? What is going on, Bachata? Samuel, not a lurker. What's going on? Friday. Yeah, buddy. Good morning, wheel deal. Let's go. I think about shorting Tesla. Right on. That's fair too. I'm buying it up, bro. Good morning, Mr. G. Good morning. Didn't get to see Tesla event until this morning. Finally got power in our home after the hurricane. Hope everything's going well with you, Shamu. I told my family count our blessings. We're 6 feet above ground, not below. Time to wheel. Right on. Every day above ground is a good day. I'm long TSOL, especially me too. I'm looking to add to it. Morning TJ and Wheelers. Added TSO myself around 10, selling the $8 puts. What's going on, Mr. National? Thank you for that. Then done for the day. They made everyone forget about the semi too, and the semi is the closest. The event made me buy more too. I love your content. Appreciate you. TJ, you got to ring a cowbell at market open since we don't have a mitt. I don't got a cowbell, guys. I don't got a cowbell. But this is what we'll do for a mitt. A little tribute for a mitt for the market open, right? So what we'll do here first is let's go over here. Live TV instead.
And it'll come back and it will argue. So one way to look at the gross margins is this, but you might want to look at it like that. It's about to get in depth, and it's another level. And instead of being a high schooler, it's going to have a graduate.
Let's catch
That's going to be what.
So let's go here.
Royal. If you want to hear what he's been saying, you go to the Tech Unheard. That's the podcast of Renee Haas, who used to work at NVIDIA, now works at runs.
I put on the Palantir, right? You got to put the Palantir cap on. Shout out to Dougie Dollars for hooking up the Palantir cap. So anyway, this one's for a minute, right? We don't normally come out on this channel because we ain't got that kind of time to be living on YouTube, right? We're over here trying to make millions of dollars. I can't be doing these lives getting like $10 here for a live.
Get the opening bell here.
Anyway, that one's for a minute.
Home celebrating its 30th listing anniversary, and
well
as we
over there,
mentioned, NVIDIA app and as celebrating 25 years listed as well as the honors.
Can
I, you're talking NVIDIA.
Anyway, that's
AMD
what's going on
yesterday
with
had
that.
an important unveiling of a new chip. The stock actually.
Let's turn this off right now because we don't need to be listening to Kramer, man. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about Tesla. But anyway, let me catch up with you guys and we'll get into the portfolio, see what's going on. What's going on, Larmo? What is going on? Yeah, exciting. We're going to get into it here real quickly. Anyway, appreciate each and every one of you guys. So what we do now is we've got to get into the portfolio update because we're going to have to make some moves. We'll make them fast. I got to make them earlier than I would like, essentially, because I don't like to do anything the first, 30 minutes or so of the market. But we're going to get into it today because I don't want Tesla to run away from us and then I miss out on that opportunity, if you will. So let's see how the market is receiving this. This is no good. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. We're sitting on 10,000 shares at 942. We're just going to be looking at that chart. This is almost like the way y'all mid has Palantir on the whole time. We're going to be looking at that thing because anything at approaching $9, I'm going to scoop up 10,000 shares and then we're going to see where we're at. So we're going to do a nice little average down on TSLL. And if Tesla dips to the $200 range, which I don't think that it will, but let's just say that it does, then I want to scoop up at least 500 shares over there. So let's see what's going on with Tesla. That's going to be indicative. Okay, so that part's good. And what's really good is now I can make a decision on these 280 covered calls that I had kicked the can down the road way over there. So that part is hello. That's good. And initially I had these at 225 for the end of the year. So this is where you always want to be patient with your covered calls. But I was like, well, let me kick the can down the road. And if Tesla runs, let it run. But if it comes back down, well, then maybe I can essentially get out of these and I can go back to the 225 and give back a lot less than the 40 that I collected to do that. And now I have control of the shares again. Or, I'm 100 days away, 98 days away from having control of the shares again. So there's just a way to, there's so many ways to skin this cat, guys. That's the bottom line. So anyway, let me do this real quickly though. So we've got, it was about the 11-minute marker. So I got to put portfolio update on this thing. So I don't want this to get away from me because then I got to go back and do it and I don't feel like doing that. So anyway, let's go over here. So it looks like the portfolio is going in the right direction. So I think that we don't have to be that nitpicky about the bottom. So the first thing I want to do, I want to scoop up some shares. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so how are we going to do it? I think what I'm going to do is we're gonna just take a stab here. We don't have to study any technicals. We don't have to do shit. Why? Because we're investing. We ain't trying to time the bottom. We just want to accumulate more shares because share accumulation trumps all 3 to 5 to 10 years from now. Nobody's going to give a shit if you could have gotten them for 20 cents cheaper, even $1 cheaper. At the end of the day, if you think that the company's going up and to the right and you have time on your side and you're not enamored with this idea of being right, you just want to be rich, you can just make it a lot easier on yourself. So there's that. So we're going to hit buy. So there we go. So we got an additional 5,000 shares at $9.22. So now let's look at the collective and see how it's looking. See how it's looking there on TSLL. So now we've got 15,000 shares at 936. Now it's feeling a little bit nicer. And now let's look at these covered calls. I kicked this can down the road to the $15 range in December because I didn't want to mess with it. That part is doing really, really good too. So now I could consider rolling these in maybe to the $12 range and picking up a lot of credits, and then the shares that I just bought, selling those covered calls and kind of matching it all up. So let's just play with that idea. If not, I could just sell more covered calls over here and call life good. So that is one option as well. So let's just look at potentially rolling this one, see what it looks like. So I'd like to take control of these shares earlier. So how about like over here in the 40-day cycle, see what that looks like. And we'll go from 15 to say, I don't know, 1250. That's a 32 delta. That's interesting because then we'll deal with earnings and all that stuff. I think Tesla's going to hover in this $200 range for a hot minute. That's my bet. That's why I'm looking to do this. I rarely like to bring calls in. I like to milk them for what they're worth whenever it's on easy street. But we're just playing with this idea right now. We're just thinking about it. So $2,600 doesn't really, to me, to potentially create stress down the road, not interested in doing that. What I'm more interested in doing is, holy moly, is this thing starting to come back up? And wow, look at me buying the bottom on accident. Because I doubt it, man. This thing's gonna have to go back down. But anyway, what I want to do though is let me go ahead and match up these right here. Let me match up those right there and call life good. So to open, and that would be 50 contracts. Let me go over here to make sure I'm showing you all the right stuff. It looks like I am. Okay, so 50 contracts. And then let's say we can get like 63 cents or so. Would that work? Nice little rebate. Let's see what happens there. Maybe we can get it filled. Who knows? We'll see. We'll give it time. If not, we'll go back and, put 60-cent handle on it or something, and it'll get filled that way. So then now the next thing I need to do is I need to go to the trackers. So I need to go to this tracker right here, share instead. And again, guys, this isn't like a mids channel where I have like this whole thing where we're trying to carry, like, y'all are essentially just seeing me work. This is why I don't like to go live. I used to go live early, but I was like, nobody really wants to see me do this shit. So bear with me. And whenever I make a trade, I go through this entire process because I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to fall behind. So I got to go to the tracker, and then it's going to be 10-11, and we buy. And it's 5,000 shares, and I believe it was at 9. And let me look here. At 922. So 922. So there's that. And then now I got to see whether or not this guy filled. Did not fill. Okay, so we're going to replace this order. Continue, and then let's see if we can get it filled at 55 just to be done with it, because we don't want Tesla to tank more and then we lose that opportunity. So there it is. It looks like we got it filled at 55. Let me make sure. Yeah, 55. Okay. So where are we at here? Paper opportunity tracker. So then we're going to go to the covered call side of things. And we're going to go 10. We're going to sell call. And it was for 12.20.24. And it's $15 strike, 50 contracts, and we got 55 cents. So that brings our adjusted cost basis to 119. So we have work to do to manufacture the win. We got to get rid of $1.19 in cost. So we got to go through more rounds of selling cash secured puts and covered calls. And that brings me to the next part of the equation. The next part of the equation is maybe we could do something with some cash secured puts. So let's look at this position. and be like, okay, where's the easy money at? Where's the easy money at? Because we just did the hard thing. The hard thing is buying more shares, not having any idea where the bottom's at, not studying any charts, not doing any of that bullshit. I know it's going to rain. I don't know when. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Like you're driving around in your car and you got the umbrella there on the side of the door because you know one day you're going to use it. So that was the strategy there. But now let's look at all of these open positions and see which one we would like to add to, because there's some easy money there. I feel we just got to go find it. I appreciate the 14 people that have, at least looked at the link or whatever, noticed that we're live on X. I have no idea where they come with these numbers, because I know for a fact 314 people aren't watching me on X, but I do appreciate the 122 people that I know are watching on YouTube, because on YouTube doesn't fluff their numbers, right? So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully y'all get value through this. Y'all are going to see me walking and talking through this process, because it's not that easy. It's not just pushing a bunch of fucking buttons, making a bunch of money. Like, you got to think this thing through. Don't get too irrational, and you don't want to blow your load all crazy right away, because if this thing tanks to like the $7 range, my goodness, I want to reserve the right to buy 15 or 20,000 shares down there on TSOL. And then at that point, forget about TSOL for a minute. Let's go to Tesla. Let's go to the real deal, Holyfield, at that point, because if TSOL is at those levels, Tesla going to be sub 200, right? So we want to make sure that we leave some dry powder for that as well. So the first one that I want to look at is this guy over here, because this is a backstop trade that I'm trying to build. So let's look, where are we at? So we're down 20% on those. That's exciting. Got $150 a contract on those. So I could get almost $180 a contract right now. So that's the obvious answer for me, is the one that's the least amount of stress. So we're going to go 200 contracts, and we'll be like, hey, give us like $1.78, and we're in business. So we tie up 114.6 in collateral. You're going to pay us 35 now. We don't have to mess with this thing. We're essentially hiding money over there right now. So let's hit submit, see what happens. And there it is. And there it is. It filled very, very quickly. So that part's real good. So we're going to go here. And now I'm going to see if we can find that contract. Here it is right here. So we got $1.78. So on the first batch, we got 150. On the second batch, we got $1.78. So now I've got to go back to the tracker, guys. Got to go back to the tracker. And I'm going to annotate that cash secured put. So again, I apologize. I'm not going to be nearly as exciting as a mid or anything. That's why I don't go live during certain times, because working and making millions of dollars isn't as sexy as you guys think. You know what I mean? It's not that exciting. You're just pushing a bunch of damn buttons, and the right buttons, hopefully, and locking in a shitload of premium, and then it kind of just works out usually. If it doesn't, we got to manage it. So 200 contracts, and it was $1.78. And voila, we're back to negative on the adjusted cost basis. So we're manufacturing to win there. Obviously, TSOL has to hold up. TSOL goes to zero. There's nothing that's going to save us, guys. There's no strategy in the world that's going to save you if your stock goes to zero. You can make that another quote of the day. So there's that. So now let's look at it. We got 3941 in options put collateral. So now let's go to the actual brokerage, 3941. And let's just make sure that it matches up. It matches up. Fantastic. So that's what we're looking for, making sure we don't got any boo-boos on the accounting. You got to know how to count your beans in this business, because at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to what? Your credits and your debits. So now the last thing I need to do is I'm going to go to my portfolio snapshot page, share this instead, and then I need to annotate the debit, the credits, the debit, and then the adjustments on the cost basis for the shares and things like that. So I'll use the phone here, 62. Then we're going to go. I'm looking at the history, guys. I'm looking at the history on the phone. So it tells me what numbers to put on here. So it's the 1350. So then this is on the credit side of things. So we're going to get 2791. Then I collected 35,600. So this is what I'm looking at here. I go to line 600. So now we're at 3.317572.50 total credits. Don't have any debits, but I do have to adjust how much we paid for shares. So I go over here to the share cost, right? So I'm going to update the share cost and the share value, and where I get that information is from the big Robinhood tracker. So we're going to go over here, share this tab instead. We're going to go to the summary page, and then we're going to look at share cost. So cost basis total. So it's 7301,812. 7301,812. So I'm going to go over here. 7301,812. So I'm going to go to this guy right here. And I'm going to put over here 7301,812. And then the share value, I will change that later. I do that whenever the market's closed. And I wish that this thing would allow me to just do equals to some boom. But when I do that, it gives me an error message. So that's like a Bill White thing. So I wish that I could get this portfolio snapshot page on the same page as the wheel tracker, so that some of the information that I'm dragging over would just automatically happen for me. But I'm not that nerdy, so I don't really know how to do that. So this is everything that I have on the bottom of this portfolio snapshot, guys. I know that I'm a big proponent of the wheel tracker. It's the absolute best thing that we got going. But this here, this is just your bottom line tracker. Anybody could do this thing right here. You get your credits, your debits. If you buy leaps, you put your leaps cost, you put your leaps value. You're going to get an unrealized P&L on those leaps. Then you're going to get your share cost and your share value, the current share market value, and you're going to get an unrealized P&L on there. And if you're dealing with Bitcoin, you're going to have a Bitcoin cost, a Bitcoin value, unrealized P&L there. These are just very, very important metrics to know. And the other important metric that you want to know is your open collateral. Is how much is your open collateral? What of that open collateral, how much of that is in the money? And that is a very important metric to know in relation to want this in the money value to be exceed your brokerage cash, because then you know by margin if everything expired right here right now. And then what's your withdrawable money? Like if you needed to make a withdrawal from the portfolio, how much could you actually take home from the brokerage to your bank right here right now? So those are the metrics that I look at here. And it's just, again, I said it so many times on the channel. This business is very simple, because at the end of the day, no matter what fancy accounting that you want to use, no matter what fancy metrics you want to be like, oh, my cash and cash return, my this, that, my that, and this, you know, at the end of the day, it's a very simple business. You're going to have credits on one side of the ledger. You're going to have debits on the other side of the ledger. And then what did you pay for your asset versus what it's currently worth and what's your unrealized P&L? What did you pay for your asset? What's it worth? And what's the unrealized P&L? What did you pay for your asset? What's it worth? And what's the unrealized P&L? And then you bring all that shit down, guys. You bring all of that shit down. And this is everything since 2024, the start of 2024. And then I told myself that I shouldn't exceed these amount of trades, because if I do, then I'm over trading. So we got a couple, 100 days left or so, and I'm over here. That's why I slowed down. I slowed down because I don't want to have to reformulate all of this shit over here and drag it to like line 725 or something like that. So I'm trying to make it work. So the easiest way to do that is just don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't make any unnecessary trades, because then you're going to have to go annotate. So anyway, that's what's going on with that, guys. Let's go over here. It looks like the portfolio is going up to the right. Let's check on Tesla a little bit. Okay, so everything's good. Everything filled. So now let's check on Tesla again, and then do a real quick portfolio update. So Tesla getting any love? Are they rebounding? Where are they at? Looks like they're, hovering right there. So the lowest they've gotten is 215. It would have been nice to scoop up 500 shares down there. Maybe the market will give us another opportunity. So now the other thing becomes, oh, I forgot to annotate one thing over here. I got to annotate this thing right here. The total open collateral. I can get that from the phone right here real quick. 39.41. Then I've got brokerage cash. Then I've got to go to the big Robinhood tracker, share this instead, and I've got to do the cash as well. There's just a lot of little shit that I got to keep up with on a regular, guys, so that it doesn't get away from me. So we got 1412, 306. 0.29. And then one metric that I look at on a regular is always right here, portfolio allocation. How does it look? So Riot's at 19%. I got SoFi at 18%. And this is taking into account cash and put collateral here as well. Now, the one thing that it isn't taking into account, though, is your leaps. So that is something that Bill, I'm sure, probably already has worked out or whatever. But this is not taking into account the leaps, because if you add the amount of money that we've invested in the leaps here for SoFi is by far and away the biggest position. So now let's look at it. TSL is looking like 7%. So that part's nice. And then Tesla is at 4%. Palantir's at 6.9%. Open Doors at 3.8%. That's probably bigger than that needs to be. PayPal is at 3.7%. But there's a lot of leaps on PayPal that are not accounted for there as well. NIO is at 5.2%. Intel's at 3.7%. Amazon's at 5.1%. There's 12.9% in cash. This is like the BITX and shit like that. CrowdStrike's less than 1%. American Airlines is at 1%. Hood's at 2.2%. What else do we got? That's about all of it. NVIDIA is 0.6%. So I feel like NVIDIA definitely needs to approach that 1% mark, and probably CrowdStrike as well. So those are the things. Those are the things in a nutshell, guys. Anyway, let me catch up with you guys. And see what's going on. I'd like to get to $8 million. That would be great, but that's going to take a little bit of work. So where are we at here? We did this one here. Cowbell, we did that one. I want to short more of Tesla. Don't believe in their future, and that's what makes a market, right? Like, I'm pretty bullish on their future, so I'm going to bet accordingly. If you're not bullish on their future, you should bet accordingly, and that's what makes a market, guys. This isn't a situation like, oh, you fucking dumbass, I can't believe you don't catch the vision or anything of the sort. That's not what investing has to be, because it's like we can both win. We could both win. This person here might be able to make a shitload of money right now shorting Tesla. That might be the best play right here, right now. I also think that I'm going to win in the future. And that's why I don't understand all the angst when it comes to these YouTube finance channels. It's like everybody's just so enamored with being right. Let's all get enamored with being rich. It's a lot more fun. I promise you. And cheer for your fellow brethren, man. If they have something going for them and it doesn't affect you, cheer for them. It's good. It's good for your chi. It's good for your aura. It's good for all of that stuff. I feel like genuinely cheer for your fellow man so that they can win. If there's an opportunity there to short, that's not how I play the market, but there's a lot of people that do. This might be a very, very good setup for you in the near term. In the long term, I don't think it works out, but in the near term, it might be a very, very good setup. Why? Because earnings are going to come around. So they have a less than enthusiastic robo taxi event that left you with more questions than answers, right? Let's face it, that's why the market didn't like it, because it created more questions than answers. So that might be an opportunity in the near term. But as all of these things start coming to fruition, then I think that everybody's going to be singing a different song. And that's why investing's hard, guys. And that's why investing's hard. We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited though. I'm excited about everything, guys. We'll see what's going on. Let me catch up with appreciate you. I know that Kevin is really, really good at doing these market opens. And it's pretty impressive that Amit took market share, right? Amit's channel has absolutely grown with these market opens. And do yourself ever using a robot? I totally see myself owning probably two, one for the inside, one for the outside. Definitely. We spend about $2,000 a month on landscaping and cleaning ladies on a monthly basis. And if you can program this robot and it could legit do those types of things, and it's between both of them $50,000-$60,000 investment, it's a fucking no-brainer. In 2-3 years, they pay for themselves. And this robot would have to be able to do a good job. Our cleaning ladies are really good. They're really, really good. And it also feels good that you're contributing to their lives, their families, etc. Right? You make friends with these people. And we have 3 different cleaning ladies. So we don't just have the one. And then we have a landscape company that I'm like $400, $500, $600 a month, depending on how much shit they do. Because I see credit card statements, I don't really pay attention to them because they're billed on one of the credit cards. I think it's the SoFi credit card actually. And but it's $200, $300, $400, $500 a month. So I would love for all of that stuff to go away eventually. I think that's where the world's going. So yes, I definitely see that. I definitely see a lot of restaurants, man. I totally see these robots, because I feel like McDonald's is probably already using this kind of stuff. I feel like these robots are going to be waiters. They're going to be making hamburgers and all that shit. They ain't going to be complaining. They're not going to be asking for it. Hey, I want $15 to flip burgers. Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people are going to use these robots. In Europe, we don't have option trading like you on Robinhood. Did you already knockouts or warrants or factors? No, not. I mean, that doesn't really apply to Tesla, so I'm not sure. Did you already knockouts or warrants or factors? I'm not. I feel like I'm not really understanding the question in its totality. In Europe, we use international brokers for trading U.S. options. Right on. What's going on, Kim? What's going on, Midwest? The king of the emojis. Where all the emojis are. There we go. You can always count on Midwest for these emojis, guys. I'm looking at my face and it looks a little bit fatter. My wife said that I've been eating more this week. So anyway, I went to go check on the scale today and I had gained 2 pounds. So she was right. Guess I haven't been working out as hard. My diet hasn't been on point for the last 7 to 10 days. I'm going to get back on it today. Hey, TJ, I like the idea of backstops on TSL, but any concerns with the longer term NAV erosion for the backstop trades on TSL? Not really. Not at those levels, man. Because it just comes down to keep it simple. Where does Tesla have to be for that to go in jeopardy? Probably in the 160 range. And I don't think Tesla's going there. So I ain't worried about any of that stuff. And I'm also okay owning TSL at those levels and just making a shitload of money selling covered calls. So yeah, I'm not worried about it at all because it's so out of money. Robin, more comfortable. Agreed. SoFi running. Is it really? Make out a haircut. Appreciate you guys. How much of your 7 million is margin? I'll show you in a second. There's nothing at the 7 million that's in margin, by the way. But what you're talking about is this right here. The individual cash is 1.4 and the options collateral is 3.9. So whatever amount this is over that amount, that is how much margin I would be using if everything got assigned. So let's talk about that. What would get assigned? Riot $7 puts. Let's look at them. Not happening. Keep it moving. That's 280 grand right there. That comes off the top. American Airlines, $11 puts, 55,000 bucks. I don't think it's happening. So that's out. Enphase, $100 puts. I can see this one happening. It's right there, but I also can see me rolling it a month, $5 down. So not really happening unless I want it to happen, right? Let's just keep going down the road. SOXL, 33 put. Don't see it happening. Don't see it happening. So that's out. Y'all are seeing the theme here, right? PITX, 24 puts for January. Couldn't happen. Don't see it happening. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I think we're making the point here. Clean Spark, 750 put. 500 contracts. Big bet. It's currently trading what, $9? Yeah, don't see it happening. Don't see it happen. So that's already well over $1 million in collateral that ain't going to happen, right? It's not going to get assigned. NEO, $5 puts. Let's see those. It's a pretty big position. 400 times 500, do the math. 200 grand. Don't see it happening. Don't see it happening. So there's that. So that's coming off. What else do we got? Open Door, 150 puts. Don't think they're happening. The $2 puts, yes, but it's not that much money. The $3 puts, yes, not that much money. 350 puts, yes, not that much money. Then we got big position here, 420 grand. Not happening. These I'm managing. These I'm managing. So we probably got about 350, 400 that we could get assigned. That's way less than the 1.4 in cash. And then we got 800,000 over here on SoFi. And SoFi's approaching $9. Not happening. That's 800 grand that's coming off the tables, right? Not happening. Not happening. What else we got? Anything else that stands up? Riot, $5. Way in the distance, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. And then the other one in the distance is the one that we just put on, which was what? The TSLL. We got $1.79 and now they're $1.78. So it's like right there. I'm kind of tempted to put 200 more out there or 100 more, be at an even 500, but we'll see. Maybe we get a better deal. So we've got an average credit of 164 and it's currently at 177. So maybe if the current price goes to 200 or so, then I'll be like, let's scoop up another 100 and we'll start building this thing, because I have a vision of this being like 2,500 contracts eventually. So I want to scale into this thing over the next 90 days or so. And then by that time, we'll have another earnings report. We're going to be a little bit closer. There'll probably be some gigafactory talk. I mean, who knows? Who knows? It doesn't take much for a company like Tesla to move the needle. That's the reality. So anyway, guys, live Q&A time, 43-minute mark. Let's do some live Q&A. And I'll put the link in the chat as well. So I know I'm not a Mitt. Mitt's like highly entertaining, but hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this morning. We got 418 people that have at least checked us out on X and 160 people rocking with us live. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link in the chat here. If anybody would like to join. We could just like chop it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go. I want to go eat, but since the face is looking pudgy, I can't do that. So there's that. So anyway, where are we at here? Let's keep it going. Where are we at here? Here we go. TJ, have TSO cash clear puts with the strike 9 expiring today. What are the chances it gets assigned? Well, you can look. You can look at your delta, right? You can give your delta. So you go Tesla or TSLL, $9. So you're gonna go boom. You're gonna go boom, boom for today, right? 19% chance. The 19% chance that it would get assigned. I don't see it happening. or you can just give back $6, or you wait till noon. You wait till noon, and if the price action stays the same, this is going to be at like $3 for you, or 3 cents a share, because you're going to collect some more of that data still. So there's that. There's that. Because at the end of the day, the delta is going to either be 100 or it's going to be 0 at 3 p.m. That's the reality. That's the function of the delta. By expiration date, it's got to go from -1, 0 to +1. In this case, since it's cash secured put, you have positive delta. So it will go to 0 if you're not going to own the shares. If you're going to own the shares, it'll start looking more like 1. So hopefully that helps you. So what am I saying? I think you're pretty safe. Not financial advice, but I think you're pretty damn safe. Nothing to worry about. You keep the trade on. I'd probably close it around noon for a couple bucks just to be done. But if you want to kind of be in it for the endorphins and the drama and all that shit, well, that's on you, right? That's on you. I'm not here for the drama. I'm here for the dollars. That's another quote of the day for you guys. So where are we at here? Hey, TJ, do you hedge your portfolio? I don't buy puts. Oftentimes I sell covered calls as a hedge to the downside, but I do not like to buy puts. They're an absolute pain in the ass. I don't like to do it. I don't like to do it. Palantir hit 44. Did it really? Let's see. Oh, well, looky here. Good for you guys. Yeah, this thing's at all-time highs now, right? Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Palantir is just a gift that keeps giving me problems. So what do we got here with Palantir? We got the 24,000 shares. We've got it's really only 19,000 shares, right? Because these things are long gone. And we've got all the shares for sale at 45 and 35 in the distance. I'm not doing anything. I ain't even considering doing anything with these things till June. At that point, I'll probably add another year to the damn contract and maybe go from 35 to 40, 45 to 50. And that's the game that I'm playing with Palantir. Every year if I can get $5 in capital appreciation, eventually I'm going to catch the stock, because this thing is priced to absolute perfection. And I'm going to catch that stock. It might take me 3 years. It might take me 5 years. It might take me 10 years. But I am going to catch the stock on these. I ain't going to catch it on these. Not even going to look anymore. Those shares are there. You can take them. I ain't going to mess with that. It's just not even worth my brain power at this point. So that's what's going on with Palantir. Let me keep going with you guys over here. And we've got, looks like we got someone here. It says we need to connect your mic and cam before I can add you to the stream. There's a Danny in the background there. So they can get that done. We got Hugo. What's going on, Hugo?
What's going on?
Brother, I'm good. Let me hold on. 47-minute mark. The channel got a lot better looking. Let me put it on.
There we go. Happy Friday.
47-minute mark. Good looking Hugo joins.
Man, I am excited. I'm excited. You guys are talking about Tesla?
A little bit, man. I mean, first of all, hopefully the person on the crowd, there was an issue apparently with somebody in the crowd. Hopefully everything worked out okay. I know that I was a little bit restless, and I felt like he had us waiting for like half an hour to 45 minutes or whatever. So I was kind of already in a bad mood a little bit as a consumer and as a viewer, because I had literally set time out of my life to watch this event. The wife was even going to watch it with me. She was like, dude, fuck that. Like, she gave up.
Yeah, she went to sleep.
She gave up. She was like, dude, fuck all that. Don't make too noisy. Don't get the dogs all riled up. Because when I saw the van, I envisioned the wine tour business with that van. I mean, the ultimate party bus. Hey, I'm going to promote Cowboys games. We're all going to go in the electric van to the Cowboy. I just saw me as a way to badass tax write-off, make a lot of money. That's the American dream, right? Don't pay any taxes to make a lot of money. That's what rich people are always trying to figure out how to do. So anyway, so what do you think? Real quick, my thoughts were, I caught the vision. I caught the vision as an investor because I have a long-term mindset. I caught the vision as a consumer. Tesla's really exciting.
Yeah.
I caught the vision that he's trying to rebrand the company. He's having his Mark Zuckerberg moment. He's having the the maybe the yeah, I mean, I want to say, but with like the little glasses where your phone's going to be the glasses and all that shit down the road, and the metaverse and all that shit. I feel like it was a couple 2 or 3 years ago that Meta started pumping out that narrative, and then they changed their ticker, right? They changed their ticker from whatever it was before. I can't even remember. I think it was FB to Meta. So I think that Tesla legit achieved their Facebook moment last night, because rebranding is very difficult. And he's been pushing out this artificial intelligence and robotics narrative for a hot minute, right?
Yeah.
So, but for the majority of short-term investors that are always trying to time their entries and exits and stuff, I think the event left more questions than answered. It was very ambiguous, if you will. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Hugo?
So look, I'm pretty happy because I had hedged my portfolio. Just, you look at history, and Tesla has always sold on after the events. It's, it happened after the Cybertruck. It's happened pretty much every single time before. So I bought some puts to kind of hedge my portfolio, and I'm happy to. And for those that know my portfolio, I'm pretty, I'm like 95-96% Tesla, if not more. And my portfolio was only down 1.5%, 2% this morning. So it was pretty good hedging on my part. I just finished going through it. If people want to jump over to my Twitter and check it out. But overall on Tesla, man, I agree with you. Long story, when you're looking at what this guy's trying to solve, right? You're trying to solve self-driving, right? That is something that if you would have mentioned it to anybody 10 years ago, they would have looked at you crazy. And so the question you need to be asking yourself when you invest with Tesla is, do you think Elon Musk is the guy that's going to solve self-driving? Because if you believe that he is, then and I hate to say this, but the details shouldn't matter. Who cares what the battery life is on the Cybercab? Who cares what material it is if he is going to solve full self-driving, right? And I use the analogy in my I just made a tweet about it yesterday. It's like, Thomas Edison in the 1900s, if he was 3 years late on the light bulb, or he told you the light bulb only lasted 3 months, and you decided not to invest in his company because of that, it's the details don't really matter when you believe in the vision and you believe in the individual. And I think that's the way you need to approach Tesla. Now, having said that, I do agree with you. They did leave a lot of details out, and I think they did that on purpose, because I think there's going to be a lot of changes by the time they introduce this today, and it launches, 2026, 2027. I think a lot of things are going to change. But look, man, having said that, I am a big fan of Elon, what he's accomplished, not just with Tesla, but with SpaceX, with Neuralink, with so many of his companies. I mean, how much more proof do you need that this guy is the individual that will solve it? So that's why I put my money behind Tesla, and I am very bullish.
Agreed. But I think that you also have a realistic time horizon. Because when you're trying to do things that no one's ever done, first of all, people don't know that it can be done, right? Like, how long did it take for people to try to run a sub 4-minute mile?
Right.
I remember Steve Prefontaine. That was the deal, dude. Like, like my dad would talk about it, because that was before I was a kid, right? So it was before my time. But I knew of him right away because I was a middle distance runner as a kid. And it was this, he was always trying to map it out. I got to do this, this little part of the mile at a certain amount, right? You have like your little, you're just like clapping yourself along the way or whatever, seeing if you're hitting these little milestones. So until it's done, until it's been done, you don't know that it can be, right? You don't know that it can be done. So I think that that's what it is for Elon. Is he's trying to do a lot of stuff that hasn't been done. Now, in respect to full self-driving, it is being done, right? I've been in a Waymo.
Yeah, but let me...
No. But what I'm saying is that capability, although not scalable, in my opinion, does exist in a very controlled platform, right? Like, I mean, there's like a shitload of cameras. These vehicles are probably $130,000, $150,000. So they're not for the mass consumer, if you will. Whereas Tesla, what they're trying to do is take your everyday car, your everyday Tesla, and turn it into something that's like a mobile office of sorts, and also a mobile business for you. So instead of this car costing you money like every other car in the world, this car could actually make you money. So now you consider, baby, if we both had a car, instead of taking away, from our bottom line, this could add to our bottom line. And just imagine, like, people, this is the part that they're not getting, I feel. Can we all agree that on your family budget that a car is under the liabilities tab? Yes or no? Would you agree, Hugo, that your car payment, even if you don't have a car payment, your fucking car is a liability? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So this is what this man is potentially doing, is he is taking, aside from your home, the biggest expense for most people as a family, and potentially moving it over from the liability side of the balance sheet to the asset side of the balance sheet. Something that no longer costs you money, but can actually make you money. What could the average family do with an extra $300 to $500 to $1,000 per month in their pocket to revolutionize the way that people move from point A to point B? That's the story that's not being told enough. Because this man is basically saying, hey, rock with me for $30,000 and I might be able to put $10,000 into your pocket. Year over year over year over year, and you just got to be like a little shepherd and make sure that that car is up to speed and nice and clean and shit, because we don't know what customer X is going to do in that car, right? So that's the other part that I feel like, how does that work out? You get into that car, the previous passenger left it like shit, and you like. So I think about that stuff because I have a wine tour business. And the very first thing we got to do after a wine tour, we got to go clean the van, bro. You got to go clean the van. You got to go clean the little bus, right? Because the 36 passengers, the biggest one that we got. You got to clean it. So how does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a Roomba in these cars? Is there some sort of a sanitation?
Well, they showed that. They showed the they didn't spend too much time on it, granted, and they should have, but they showed the robotic arm with the vacuum, vacuuming the car seat, and the robot cleaning the screen. So they have a way to, I guess, address it, but they should have gone into it in more detail. And if I could, TJ, I think you bring up a good point, with the Waymo, and I just want to dive into that just for a quick second. And I saw Poppy Jammin brought it up as well. Much love, bro. It's a good comment. It's a comment that a lot of people bring up, and I think the key distinction there is that FSD and what Tesla's trying to do is basically you're creating the brain, you're creating the eyeball. Waymo is a blindfolded individual that has memorized the sidewalks, right? So when you look at, and you said it, when you look at scalability, and not just talking about cars, when you're talking about, brother, the next 50 years are going to be so exciting. I mean, if you look at, for example, Mars, right? Let's just choose something that's very far out, Mars, right? What are you going to drop a Waymo in Mars and pre-route what routes, as opposed to FSD that's going to be able to see the rock in front, or is going to be able to analyze whatever it needs to analyze. Or if you want to bring it back to Earth, if you're talking about tours, a wine tour, right, that you want to do within your property, right? What are you going to pre-route Waymo within your property, or you're going to have an FSD ability, right? Because it's, at the end of the day, the idea is for it not just to be Tesla, it's for it to be licensed to other sort of vehicles, right? That's the beauty, I think, of what Tesla's doing, is that they're training the brain. And we're at a point, right, at an inflection where we have AI progression right now, and we have all this data that Tesla's collecting, and they're training that data at a level that I don't think they were even close to 5 years ago. And that's the big difference between FSD and Waymo, right? And And I think that that's something maybe people don't understand. You know, when you get in a car, it drives itself. You think it's, you know, apples to apples, but it's not. You're talking about training a brain and producing eyeballs to a blindfolded man who just memorized a route. And that's the way I see it. I don't know. What do you think about that, TJ?
No, I mean, I think it's fair. We're not comparing apples to apples, but they're both fruits. You follow me? That's why they say we're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same concept, but pretty different. Pretty different. And we're talking about taking your vehicle, your personal vehicle, and plugging it into the Tesla fleet and making money and people. Imagine going to, I mean, dude, think about some things that the guy said that are very exciting. I do not like going to live sporting events as much as I know here that's not true. I love going to live sporting events, but I don't go as often as I would like to because I don't want to fuck with the traffic.
Yeah.
Seriously, like legit. Give me a thumbs up if that applies to you too. Dude, when I lived in California, I only went to a handful of Lakers games. I only went to a handful of Dodgers games and enjoyed some fucking Dodger dogs in the cheap seats of left field, because I know about that too. As well as watching it from behind the dugout, because that's even more fun. You know what I'm saying? And they sell Dodger dogs there too, by the way. But I'm saying is I don't go, or I chose not to go. Sometimes I couldn't afford to go because I didn't have the time or the money or the combination of both. But my goodness, dude, I don't want to mess with the traffic.
Yeah.
In New York, I was more apt to go do things because it's different messing with foot traffic than it is rubbernecking in a car. It's different, dude. You're like, you'll do it. You'll do it. Like, I don't mind standing in line and doing all those things because that shit ain't going to go away. There's 100,000 people in the stadium. It's going to be crowded, right?
Yeah.
But at least it's only crowded in there. Once you get outside, everybody spreads out, does their own thing, goes to these pickup spots, etc. Kind of like the way that the airports are now, right? Like when you go to the airport and you go to the ride share and everybody's sitting there waiting for their Lyft or their Uber to show up and stuff. So it's already started to change. And remember the times when you used to go pick up your fucking buddy at the airport, bro? What a hassle that was. Yeah. I'm just saying nobody's giving Uber and Lyft credit for that. Like, dude, you don't have to bother a buddy to go take you to the airport anymore or to pick you up at crazy ass hours in the night. You got to take the fucking red eye or whatever the case may be. You don't have to do that anymore. That problem has been solved. So imagine going to these amazing sporting events or other events. It could be your church, dude. Sometimes I didn't want to go to church in San Antonio because the freaking zoo at Community Bible and Cornerstone, dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. The parking lot sucks. So imagine if parking lots would no longer be. Talk about all of the land mass that you've just now gotten a hold of again. I mean, dude, he could literally change the landscape of the country and then eventually the world. And there's already companies like that, dude. Like, I have buddies that have gone to Dubai. I've not gone. They're like, bro, this over here, Abu Dhabi and all that shit, bro, it's a different world. You don't even know. These guys are like living in like 2035, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, like this is what I've heard. I haven't been.
I've been to Dubai. It's true. Yeah.
It is in my bucket list to go check out these places because dude, the future is already here. It's just not here. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's already there. It's just not here. There's a lot of money that has gone to other places and taken advantage of all these technological advances. And my goodness, dude, I see the day. I see the day that the roads look so different. And then also, like, let's talk about the productivity. Yeah, the car can go make you money. But, dude, if you spend 10, 12 hours a week in a car, because he said that the average car is used about 10 hours a week. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, dude, that is a lot of production.
Yeah,
That's a fourth or fifth of your work week that you're spending in a car.
yeah,
How much more productive could you be if you didn't have to drive? Because when I was younger, dude, I'd love to drive. Now it's like a chore, dude. It's like, wow, sometimes I want my wife to pitch in a little bit, but she's a little herky jerky when she drives. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh man, fuck it, I'll suck it up. I'm not tired, baby, when I really am, because I don't like the way she drives, right? But I mean, if this car could drive better than both of us combined, well, let's just do that, because sometimes I'm driving and maybe I'm not the only one, but it kind of annoys me that she gets to play on her phone while I'm driving.
yeah.
And then if I pick up my phone, yo, you're gonna kill us. And I'm like, well, how come whenever you're driving, you get we're at the red light immediately? She acts like she's got an admin job and she's got to do this text message right here, right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, that's not just me. That's all of us. That's all of us. It's like you get annoyed that everybody else in the car is keeping up to speed with the current events except you, because you got to get them there safely. So it's just, like, I was a designated driver my whole life, HUGO, because I didn't drink. And I kind of resented a lot of the drunk people that I drove around. And that's one of the reasons that I decided to have a wine tour business. Like, I feel like I've already been doing this job for free. Might as well get paid a little bit for it.
That's funny to me that you did wine tour biz, but you don't drink wine either, right?
You better fucking hate drinking. Dude, if I was the president, you wouldn't be drinking. Nobody would be drinking. Fuck all of y'all. Nobody's drinking. Nobody's drinking. I feel like if there's one error that Jesus made, was listening to mom and the waiting in Canaan and turning the water to wine. I feel like that was the one time that Jesus legit fucked it all up. Because he had to know that people were going to be abusing that shit. Jesus, bro, you're all things knowing. You should have known that shit, yo. I can't wait to have this conversation with Jesus and God, bro. The whole Trinity, get them all together. Get them all together. I'm here. I got something to say. You know what I mean? Like, y'all fucked up. Like, just tell it like it is. You fucked up. And it's all good. Like, I feel like that's like legit the one time that Jesus should not have listened to mama.
Yeah, I'm doing the sober October right now, so it's been good, man. You feel good,
Yeah, I drink soda, dude, and I'm trying to quit, and it's just as bad. Like, freaking soda. There's probably arguments out there that are absolutely true. I think sodas are worse for you than even alcohol. At the levels that I used to drink them, dude. I used to drink probably 4 or 5 a day.
Cans.
Yeah, like 12-ounce cans. So now I'm at these 8-ounce cans. I guess they have the 100-calorie one.
Yeah, the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and I average probably 2.
That's not bad, dude. That's not bad.
Not good either, though. So yeah. I'm hoping to get to 1 by the end of this year. I want to be at 1. So, and it's either going to be like I'm going to really enjoy it with either the lunch or the dinner. Like, I'm going to pick my spot. I don't need it in the morning because it used to be my coffee. Like, I would have soda in the morning to kind of like get me going. Now I don't do that anymore. I drink collagen. I know it's crazy, but this collagen like really helps me because like the bones and ligaments and stuff. So okay. I drink this elixir collagen. It's like $3 a shot, but it gets me going and I feel good after my workouts. So I don't do anything. I don't do coffee either, unless I'm like really hurting. From like if we stay out past 11, bro, like I'm old already. I can't do 11. Like 12, it's hard. Like it's hard for me. Because the next day I feel like I drank. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way, man. I do need my coffee though. I drink black coffee with water. That's a psychopath drink my brother got me into, but it's that's what I drink in the morning.
So okay, nobody voting for me, bro. Nobody voting for me.
Yeah. So how are you? What's going on with your Tesla position, man? What are you thinking? How'd you do? What are you thinking on adding any more? I added a bit on the TSLL backstop trades we have for January the 2026 2025 puts. I added a couple of those. I think those are gonna print. But what else are you doing with Tesla?
So what I did earlier today is I haven't done anything specifically with Tesla, but with this guy right here with TSLL, I bought
Great
live on
basis.
live on the channel today. I bought
There it is.
I bought 5,000 shares at 922.
Wow, dude, you got
Yeah.
a great entry point.
So this is just all guessing, bro. Like I ain't looking at shit. I'm talking about 5 years down the road, right?
Yeah.
So and I know that this isn't meant to be long term, whatever. As much premiums as it's paying, bro, you can manufacture the win on this thing. I'm here to tell you right now, under $10, this thing's a fucking steal long term if you think Tesla's going where it's going.
Yeah.
And you got to look at the management of this direction or however you pronounce it, bro. These people that are running these ETFs are absolutely legit.
Okay.
So go look at all that stuff. Everybody wants to talk about NAV erosion and all this shit. Go talk about the management. Dude, these people have like the who's running this shit over here. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, I bought those, immediately sold covered calls on these, kind of a rebate. So I got 55 cents. So that's almost like picking them up at like 875-ish. And then for December, I put the covered calls at 15 to match the other ones that I had. And then I sold 200 puts at 573 for January of 26 and picked up 35,600. So essentially, the reason I did that is because between right here, I almost financed these right here. You follow me?
Yep.
Now, granted, I have to tie up 114,000 to do that, and I had to have 47 up front. But again, I treat this like a business, and I'm well capitalized. And there's always a method to the madness. I showed y'all right there how I could finance about 80% of these shares right now.
That's incredible.
Because I don't think it's going to go to these levels, and if it does, well, sign me up. I'd buy more. You know what I mean? If I was willing to buy them over here, how the hell would I not be willing to buy them over here if I don't think that the investment thesis is going to crack in the next 24 months?
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So that's the bet. And then on Tesla itself, I haven't done anything, dude, because
You're at 8 million, bro. You're at 8 million. You hit 8 million, no?
Almost, yeah. We're not there yet. Man, it looks like we got close to earlier. So anyway, so TSL or Tesla, this one's the one that I'm not doing anything with, right? So we got the 2,500 shares at 196. So it's a decent entry point, not great, but decent. And then I've got the 280 calls for January of 2026. These were sitting at 225.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess with them anymore because they were paying 40 grand to roll them right here.
So you rolled them for a credit?
Yeah, for 40,800. I went from 225 to 280, and I was like, I'm going to put it on fuck off street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to mess with that. And I was like, give me the 40,000. I'll use that to go finance some stuff on TSL as well. So I'm showing y'all where I find the money.
Yeah. So
then I want to revisit this in January though, or like in December, because I had these at 225. So imagine if I could close these out for like say 20, and it's December and Tesla's at like 200, and I can move these back over to 225 for January 17th, and I only give back like 20 grand. I legit made 20,000 on that, and I have control of the shares again. That'll be printing on a monthly basis for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea there. But right now, I feel like I'm on easy street. I thought this was going to be a sell and use event because I didn't see a world where Elon Musk was going to be able to convince anybody that what he was doing was going to immediately have an impact on the top line, the middle line, or the bottom line.
Yeah.
So I don't know what people were expecting.
Yeah.
From that aspect, I don't know. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think that he's going to be like, oh, we've been working on this assembly line and we have a new gigafactory that nobody knows about, and there's already 10,000 of these ready to go, even though we haven't figured out Cybertruck yet? Because I don't know if y'all know this, but Cybertruck costs Tesla money. It doesn't make them money yet. So whenever you roll out a new SKU as a business, it's typically a money loser for a hot minute until they figure it out, and then it turns into potentially a money printer like the Model 3 and the Model Y. Because the Model X and S were money losers for a long time, right?
Yeah.
When that's all they had. So then they roll out the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now they're printing money. So they're like, we're printing so much money, we can lower the cost, but we can even suppress our margins because the whole goal is to get as much of these on the road. That way, when FSD happens, we sell you that software. And my goodness, we just gave ourselves a $200 billion pay raise or whatever the math ends up being, right? Something crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Game that Tesla's playing. It's like we need to get 10, 15 million of these cars down the road, because then with all of the information, because this is another thing that I feel like people don't understand. Every mile that your Tesla is driving is a mile of data that Tesla is using to get better. So every time your car is going out there and navigating that pothole or that speed bump or whatever the case may be, that dicey intersection or traffic circle, because traffic circles are problematic even for humans to navigate. Dude, I used to live by one in Long Beach, Termino. Dude, I hated that traffic circle, bro. I was like, oh, did I feel my life flashing before my eyes every time I go to this traffic circle? When we went to Pebble Beach, there's a traffic circle there whenever you go into the to go into the resort or whatever. And I hate driving there because it's just confusing to me because it's not something that I see on a regular basis. So because I'm not going to be exposed to it on a regular basis, I'm probably not likely to ever get that good at navigating these traffic circles. But if you have these Tesla cars that are probably seeing it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day, it stands to reason that they're just going to get better at doing things because they're doing them more. And you have a car in New Jersey or New York going through some stuff, well, that information is getting relayed to that car in California, if you will. So when that car in California goes over there, they're all borrowing data, bro. It's like cheating. They created driving, you're able to cheat and they're able to get better. Like, people don't fucking understand what's going on here, bro. I think they're just too dumb. Like, I'm just saying, like, the general populace is probably just too fucking dumb to understand what's really going on here.
Yeah, and look, I don't blame them, dude, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. People that are running older firmwares or scenarios that they put their cars in that I don't even think a human would outperform it, and then they're like, oh, look, FSD doesn't work. I think what you need to do, and for everybody that's watching this, and I did it myself, is go to your closest dealer, Tesla dealer, and try out the full self-driving car. And you're going to be, I brought my parents and they still talk about it to this day. I think my dad's even going to probably trade in his car for a Tesla. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And I want to mention two things there, TJ. One thing that we haven't spoken about with Tesla is there's two big catalysts outside of the Cybercab that are still in the roadwork for the next, I think, year and a half. And the first one is the Model Y, Model X refresh, right? Which a lot of people are waiting for that. We got the Model 3 refresh. So we have an idea of what it's going to look like, but they still haven't done it. And I know a lot of people are holding off on that to buy the new one. And then the second thing is the trucks, dude, the 18-wheelers. I mean, there's been really good feedback from PepsiCo, and I think there's two other companies that have been testing it out for an extended period of time with cargo, and the results have been incredible, dude. And I mean, if you look 10 years down the line and you merge electric 18-wheelers with self-driving, I mean, dude, that's another industry, a whole industry that you're revolutionizing. I mean, what people have to understand is that this self-driving computer, if you will, or the training, is so much more than just the ability to get around, dude. It's going to affect so many industries, right? Another vertical, right? These drones drones, for example, right? Drones also rely on vision in order to navigate. Who has the most vision data? Who is really the only AI company that is using vision data to train their AIs? I think that Tesla is the only one and I would love to be corrected in the comments. So, dude, I think just there's I personally don't think they understand the effect that it's going to have on a lot of different industries. And Tesla is at the forefront of it. And not just Tesla, dude, Elon Musk. And if you want to add another catalyst in there, we have an election coming up. And if the Republican individual wins, which is obviously pro Elon, I think it will help accelerate a lot of the approvals that he will need in order to further test his program. So, brother, I think right now is, you can tell that I bleed Tesla.
Yeah. I think that it is awesome, dude. I think that the opportunity is there, but you also have to be realistic at the time frame.
Yes.
Because the future is now, is a saying, right? That a lot of people have said. But I think for all of the things that he's trying to do, the future is not now. The future is coming. We're certain of that. We just don't know when. So I think that you need to look at the historical evidence before you when it comes to Elon Musk and Tesla. And as amazing as everything that they've done to this point, and I think even more revolutionary, the things that they're doing in the future or will do in the future, they're doing now for the future. He says 2026, bro. It might be 2028. I mean, how long did the Cybertruck? How long was that coming? How long has the semi been, coming? Hell, what about the new Roadster? I'm just saying, dude. Like, I think if there's one thing, one word, it's not a word, but a phrase. I'm not sure what it is. I'm just gonna tell it to y'all. If I had to describe Tesla in one way, with one phrase or word, it would be that it is that autistic child that also has ADHD. So it's that genius level thinking, but it also has ADHD. Like Tesla suffers from shiny object syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And make no mistake about it, it's a syndrome. So it's like, if you study the history of cars, because I'm a car guy. If you study the history of cars, there's two models. There's two models that people utilize when deciding what way they want to go with their car business. One is the Ford model and one is the Volkswagen model. Give me a thumbs up if y'all know what I'm talking about. If not, let me educate y'all a little bit. So the Ford model is, we're going to get great at one model. Let's call it the Model T back in the day, or the F-150, which is the world's greatest selling truck for years and years and years and years now. It's just a freaking average looking truck, but it gets the job done, and Ford has perfected it. That's the Ford way, right? Then you have the Volkswagen model. That's like, we want something for everybody. We want all the market share for everybody. And I feel like Tesla started with the Ford model, saying, hey, we got the Model S, right? Or they had that little bitty Roadster when it first started.
Yep.
And then they went with the Model S, I believe. The T100, I think, was like the legacy one.
Yep.
And then the Model X.
Mm-hmm.
They got kind of good at the Model S. So they're like, hey, let's figure out our manufacturing, because what's Tesla's mode? Manufacturing, bro. They know how to manufacture shit really, really quickly, very, very cost effective. Like, they have legit figured out manufacturing. In my opinion, that's one of their modes.
Yeah.
Aside from the vision and all that, like, Tesla knows how to build shit.
Yeah.
Can you argue about the quality and all that stuff? Could it be more aesthetically pleasing? Of course. But I don't think Elon Musk cares. He's a minimalist. I mean, they didn't even have a personal house, living on couches and shit for a while, because he doesn't care about certain little details, But they're now going from the Ford mentality, I feel, to the Volkswagen mentality, where they want to do it all. It's kind of like NIO. Like, NIO has shiny object syndrome, and they have way too many SKUs for a company that's not profitable. I'm like, dude, why don't you just take your 3 best sellers and fucking sell those and call it good and make them money? Instead of trying to do too much, having your assembly lines and robots do too much. Like, get good at mass producing these bad boys and turn a profit and then become a sexy company. That's why I kind of gave up on Neo a couple of years ago, because I was like, these people got ADHD, LMNOP. Like, they can't figure out who they want to be in the marketplace. You can be anything you want to be in life, but you can't be everything. And I feel like that is one. Hold on. That is one thing that I don't want Tesla to fall victim of. Is you have all of these grandiose plans. Some people could call them pie in the sky, right?
Yeah.
I want them to grow and I want them to do all of these other things and conquer the world and all that stuff, but I want them to do it responsibly and profitably. Because at some point valuations matter, and Tesla's not a new company, so they're not going to just be the whole voting machine thing for that long. That's my, if there's a serious bear case as an investor, that is my bear case. Is you can't just fucking, I'm gonna go build a van, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. I mean, you can't have too many Cybertruck projects going, bro, that lose money. Because at the end of the day, you got to deliver value to shareholders, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want them to go revolutionize the world in a responsible way. And investors will rock with you more so because you're delivering value to the shareholder.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, fuck it, we got all this cash and we're going to do all of those projects, knowing damn well that they're not all going to hit, Hugo, I think that's dangerous for the shareholders as well. Anyway, I got to get rocking and rolling. And I know that you got to get rocking and rolling. You guys can follow the Snowball Hustle on YouTube and on X. That would be awesome. I appreciate you as always, brother. I got a lot of work to do today. I wasn't even going to go live today, but I know that Amit wasn't going. And I know all of these crackheads on the Mid Avenue, bro, they're like fiending, bro. So I was like, well, let me go do Amit a solid. I even put the Palantir cap on earlier.
Hey.
Much love to you guys, man. TJ the Wheel Deal signing off as always. May your sky stay blue, stock straight. Peace out. God bless you guys. Thank you guys, Hugo. Appreciate you, man.